David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
Let's bring on our first guest. We're so blessed to have, probably the best guest in the world. As you know, Jeff has been waiting in the wings. Why don't we bring Jeff on real quick? There he is. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Hey, David, Mike, good to see you.
Likewise.
Great to see you, CEO of the Pedowitz Group, and you have a new book out, AI Revenue Architect, Building Your Time Machine for Exponential Sales Growth. And I'm going to tell you, there's no doubt that if you're not taking advantage or learning about, at the very least, AI, there's going to be a serious gap that's going to be created. But we have to really understand how to use it as a servant and not as a master. Now, your book unveils some great secrets of the revenue time machine. Why don't you give us a little insight on what you mean by the revenue time machine?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, we all want to have predictable revenue growth in our businesses, but unfortunately, our data is siloed, our systems are all over the place. We have a lot of manual processes. The larger our company, the bigger the problem is. So with the time machine concept and using the latest generation of AI tools, we can actually go back in time to grab all the data our businesses capture on our customers and our clients. It can organize it, it can synthesize it, and it can put it together in a way that gives us a lens forward. So that's really your time machine. So then once we have a good understanding of the past, AI can help us make better decisions going forward, which, look, we all have limited time. So we want to be able to put our best foot forward.
So great. Jeff, with all of the technology that's coming and specifically what you're referencing, are there different types of businesses and different sizes of businesses that benefit more or less from all of this technology? And if so, what are they?
Well, really, every business is going to be able to benefit from AI. It's not just for one sector or one size. Now, just like all kinds of other software, there will be certain investments people can make. So one of the best things, of course, about some of the large language models is right now they're free. They're ubiquitous. Of course, it does come with a downside in that they're also public. So we have to be really careful with what kind of data that we put into some of these engines. But coming out next month, for example, will be Microsoft Copilot. And just for all of us that use some Office application, which is probably 95% of the planet, right? Being able to have AI in Excel to be able to start building formulas and doing analysis on data, that will be a huge boost, even for an individual solopreneur or a small business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Jeff, there's an old saying, if it's free, then you're the customer. You're the product. And a lot of people have reservations about the data side of it and the accuracy of the synthesized data, the currency of the synthesized data. What are some of the things that we should be aware of as we're utilizing the groundbreaking tool?
Well, look, it's like anything else, or what Reagan said way back then. It's trust but verify, right? So we can't just assume, just because AI can do it at warp speed, that what it comes out with will be 100% accurate. So we still have to have a fundamental understanding of our business and go through. But just like we take safeguards today with our clients' data, with personal data, with private information, you can take the same safeguard. So if we're going to put our data into an open model like ChatGPT, strip out names, just put in numbers. So there's going to be then no affiliation with your data and what's coming out. And then go through that information and validate it. Sit down with your CFO, go through the models and validate it. Sure, it's going to make mistakes sometimes. It's still learning. It also, though, has some huge advantages as well. So trust but verify.
And Jeff, how important is it, it's the old adage of garbage in, garbage out kind of thing. How important is it for these companies to have a very clear handle on exactly what's going on financially in their company so that they can input the necessary information into AI to get the desired results? And what are those metrics that people should be looking at? I know the sophisticated companies have them, but we have a lot of founders and startup entrepreneurs that listen to us here early on. What should people be looking at as the markers as to what they'll need to get that kind of output or that kind of information from a company like yours?
Yeah, great questions. And you said it right. AI is still just software. So if you put in bad data, it's going to spit out bad data, bad decisions. So you do have to do some scrubbing in the beginning. But look, the basics for any business. Who is my customer? What is the average cost per sale? What is the lifetime value of one of my customers? What is the length of my sales cycle? How much pipeline coverage do I need? in order to be able to get to my result? What are my conversions at each step of my sales funnel, and what do I have to do to improve that? On the finance side, days outstanding, right? Return on capital, cash flow, just basic business principles that every good business owner or executive should have a handle on at all times. My accounts receivable, my accounts payable, just basic. And so then if you can do that, plugging AI into these systems will be able to analyze the data faster and be able to render more accurate decisions over the course of time.
Yeah. And one of the other critical business issues is, an application of daily usage of AI. So instead of looking at current revenue strategies and higher level sales, I find that a lot of people, feet on the street, door knockers, are resistant to AI. And I think it's a huge mistake because there's so many applications that we can utilize it. What are some of the ideas utilizing the secrets of the revenue time machine that the feet on the ground can use, not just the managers, directors, and executives of a company?
So there are 4 parts in the book that build the time machine around RAIN. It's really automating revenue processes. It is cleaning up and improving your data. It's personalized in the customer experience, and it's developing new revenue streams. All of us we're constantly in search for more productivity tools. And we've been using them for years, right? We have email, and we have office platforms, and we have smartphones, and we have all of these kinds of things that help us get more done in a day. So starting off with just your revenue tasks, the things that you're doing manually today inside your business that AI can easily take over and automate will give you time back so that you can put it into more value-added activities. I mean, that is one of the most, and I think over the next 2 years, that's going to be the most prevalent use of AI. And it makes sense, right? You don't have to get too far ahead of yourself. Yes, the revenue time machine is exciting and all those kinds of things. But if you could just free up more time of yourself and your most valuable employees so that you can invest with your customers in brainstorming new strategies, that in of itself will be a huge win.
Yeah, Jeff, and it's so exciting and it's moving so fast. Where do we go from here in the next 6 months? And it's hard to go out further, 6 months or a year or so. Where do we go from here, and what kinds of things is your company thinking about to enhance even more the productivity and the profitability of clients and customers?
Well, it is innovating at a breakneck speed. We have not seen this pace of innovation, I don't think, ever, at least as it relates to technology. The best example I could give is, think of when the internet came to be in the 90s, and that just a huge innovative push, and it launched Google and social media and email marketing. And then the smartphone, of course, starting in 2007 with Apple. This is a once in a generation type of thing. So what we can do though is don't be shy, right? AI is not going to replace anybody, but people that know how to use AI will replace employees that are resistant to change. And that's the important thing. So get a ChatGPT account, sign up for a Jasper, use Google Bard, go get Copilot if you have Microsoft 365, start playing with it on a daily basis. What we're helping our clients do is plan to plan, right? So what things can be automated with AI in the next 6 months? What are the areas of your revenue model that you want to tackle first? And it's really no different than any other business decision. Prioritize, look at the risk reward, sequence it out, pick one big initiative a quarter, and go get it.
Yeah. Dave, do you have a follow-up? Do you want me to jump on again?
No, I think we're ready to go ahead and thank Jeff for coming. I think anyone that's not looking for an architecture, not looking for this type of time machine, like I said, things are moving and changing quickly. You do not want to fall behind this gap. We've seen it historically in the last decade. I've seen it since 1992 when Justice Scalia told me that nobody would ever do research on the internet, that you needed books. And we can see that gap for those people that are still using books to do research where they're going to be. So I highly encourage everyone grabbing a copy of this book. Jeff, where can people find you and the book?
Yeah, thanks, David. It is on Amazon. They could also go to my personal URL, jeffpedowitz.com, or check me out on LinkedIn or Twitter. And I'm easy to get to. So, guys, thank you so much for having me on the program.
Thanks, Jeff.